Good morning, everybody, and once again, welcome back to the video. In this video, we are going to talk about accelerating data processing, leveraging Apache Hudi with DynamoDB for faster commit time retrieval. In this video, what we're going to implement is anytime your Spark jobs are writing data into your Apache Hudi data lake, using HTTP callback URI, we're going to broadcast these events to a Lambda function. Lambda function being serverless can scale up or down based on the number of events. It's gonna process these events and insert the data into DynamoDB. The primary key would be the table name, the sort key would be the commit time, and also there will be some metadata fields such as year, month, day, hour, minute, ingestion time, and the base path. So this allows you to retrieve the Apache Hudi commits in a much faster way, and you can also, say, hey, give me all the commits for the year 2023, or give me for this month, give me between range A and B. You can do all of those actions in a pretty fast way. So let's take a look at the solution. So the first step is we need a DynamoDB table where we're going to store all the metadata. So let's create the DynamoDB table. So I have this Python, code written, and there's a function called create DynamoDB table. This is going to create a DynamoDB table on your AWS account. As you can see right now, if I can quickly share my screen, I do not have any DynamoDB table called Hudi commits. Okay, so now I'll run this Python code. Let's make sure I run that. So running the Python code, this might take about 2 to 3 seconds. And this Python code will create the DynamoDB table with the primary and the sort key on your AWS account. So if I go back to the AWS account, if I refresh, here you can see Hudi commit. This is the DynamoDB table name. Here is the partition key is table name. The sort key is commit time. Now that we have the DynamoDB table, we need a Lambda function which will process all the events. Let's take a look at the code for the Lambda function. Here is my Lambda function. The Lambda function is pretty straightforward. The Lambda function receives an event. I check if the event is valid and has these particular keys, right? If it doesn't have all these keys, I return a message that missing the required keys. Else I come inside, I grab all the metadata from the events, and then I insert that into the DynamoDB. So now that you have seen the code for the Lambda function, now let's copy paste the code onto your AWS Lambda function. So come to your management console and simply paste the code that was given into the exercise notebook. And now what we need to do is we gotta go to configuration, general configuration, timeout to 2 minutes, memory to 600 megabytes. Now all your writers, when they're writing data into the Hudi, right? We will be using an HTTP callback URI so that the writer will broadcast all the information about the commits on that particular URL, and the Lambda function, which is gonna process these events, right, and insert into DynamoDB. So let's enable that on Lambda function. So as you can see, function URL, you can come here and you can click on create functional URL. I'm gonna click on none as the auth type, click on save, and that's it. Now what we need to do is we need to copy this URI. Now your writers, right, the jobs that are gonna write data into the Hudi, right, we're gonna provide this callback URI into the setting. Okay, so watch what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna copy this and I will go to my sample Hudi job over here. And as you can see over here, I will paste that URL over here, as you can see over here. Now, as you can see, these three settings, right? So what's going to happen is anytime you write the data, those commit metadata would be broadcasted to this HTTP URI. Now let's write some sample data into the Hudi and let's see if the solution is working the way we expected. So again, I'm just sharing my screen. So yeah, we simply pasted these three configs over here into the Hudi, right? And now we're gonna write some data into Hudi, right? So I'm gonna execute the cell. This will insert some data into a transactional data lake, but once the write operation is complete, this is gonna be broadcasting that events into the this particular URL, which is our Lambda function, which will receive the event and which will process and insert into Dynamo. As you can see, that's complete. Now if I go back to my AWS management console, which is here, I don't have anything on DynamoDB. So if I refresh, there you go, as you can see now, right? We have the hoodie. Let me just click on this one. So hopefully you guys can see. So the table name is this particular hoodie demo table. This is the particular commit time. This is the base path, the day, the month, the year, hour, minute, right? So now I can easily fetch all the commits for the year 2023. I can easily say, give me all the commits for month this, or I can say, give me all the commits between A and B, right? I can do all those operations on the DynamoDB and fetch the commits on a pretty fast way, right? So now all your incremental ETL jobs, all your batch processing jobs can basically fetch the hoodie commit from the DynamoDB in a much faster way, and now you can perform your incremental ETL or whatever downstream processing that you're doing. Thank you very much for watching the video, and a complete deep dive guide is available on my blog post, which would be on LinkedIn, which you can read. All the steps, everything will be mentioned on the blog post. If you really enjoyed contents like this, please make sure to support by hitting the like, subscribe, and comment on the video if you have any further question. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling, keep programming, keep learning, and I'll be seeing you in the upcoming next videos.